Hi. In this video, we are going to derive equilibrium condition for autarky. And actually, we're going to focus only on equating demand and supply. So, the only last thing we haven't done. Okay, let's start with demand. Look, from our previous discussion, we know the consumption of manufacturers, we take this from the customer's choice problem, is given by delta M, so share of income spent on manufacturers, times income over price of manufacturers. And look, this is already a demand function. Here we have number of manufacturers consumed, and on this side we are dividing by price of manufacturers. So consequently we see that the bigger the price, the lower will be the consumption of manufacturers. But more insightful for us is going to be expressing demand in terms of wage to rent ratio. And look, we can do this quite easily, taking into consideration a couple of steps. First, the income in this economy is given as wage times labor plus rent times capital. And look, we know that wage and rent are the only two sources of income in our economy for the customers. So look, we can use this relationship and substitute for income. And I'm going to do actually two things at once here. I'm going to take R out of this, so we get that this is R times W over R times L plus K. Okay, and now look, I can substitute this expression for income, and I'm getting that this is delta M times R over P M W over R times L plus K. Okay, now to just make things simpler, let's deal with this expression first. Okay, so we've got that R over PM. How much is that? Look, R over we remember. Well, I remember. You don't need to. But price of manufacturers is given by gamma M times R to the power alpha M times W to the power 1 minus alpha M, and gamma M is equal to alpha M to the power negative alpha M times 1 minus alpha M to the power negative 1 minus alpha M. Okay, so we can use this. This one we need for later. We can use this to substitute in this expression, right? So what are we going to get here? Okay, we've got that this is R over gamma M times R to the power alpha M times W to the power 1 minus alpha M. Okay, and look, we can already take this 1 over gamma M out. And look, I want to transform this in such a way that what I'm going to get is going to be a ratio of wage to rent to some power. And look, first thing I want to do is to put wage upstairs. So look, if I'm going to put wage upstairs, what do I need to do with this? I need to put minus up front, right? So we will have here W to the power minus 1 minus alpha M, right? But this power is unnecessarily complicated, so why not simplify it? Because this is the same thing as W to the power alpha M minus 1. downstairs, so I need to take it to the power -1. And again, I'm going to end up with having r to the power alpha m minus 1. And finally, I can rewrite this expression as 1 over gamma m times w over r to the power alpha m minus 1, because those two powers are the same. Okay, and this is something we can put back into our demand function. Okay, so we've got that this Cm is equal to delta m times 1 over gamma m times w over r to the power alpha m minus 1, and finally times w over r times L plus K. Okay, and actually we could finish at this moment, but there are some additional things we can do here. Look, first, I already know how do we need to end up at the result. So I'm going to say that we're going to rewrite it as much as we can, into as many expressions as we can, because those expressions will be later canceling each other out with what we will have in a supply. So, what do we have over here? Okay, first, I'm going to have, of course, delta m. And now look, here I have 1 over gamma m. And look, in both of these expressions, we've got minuses up front. So, if I have 1 over this, it means that those minuses will be gone. So, here I will have alpha m to the power alpha m, right? And here I will have 1 minus alpha m to power 1 minus alpha m. But look, I'm going to rewrite it into two expressions. So 1 minus alpha m to the power of 1 times 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m. And by the same token, I'm going to rewrite this into two expressions. I'm going to have w over r to the power alpha m and w times w over r to the power negative 1. And finally, over here we will have w over r times L plus k. And this expression is giving us demand, so consumption of manufacturers as a function of wage and rent alone. Because look, what else do we have here? We have L and K, which are given to us, right? We are assuming that we have a given amount of labor and capital in the economy, and all those parameters are also fixed, because this parameter is taken from utility function, and those are actually taken from the production function. So here we've got everything we need in the demand function. So the next thing we need, of course, is supply. Okay, and supply, we're gonna start just like we already established from a Cobb-Douglas production function. We find that if producers are minimizing the cost, level of manufacturers is going to be equal to alpha m over 1 minus alpha m times wage over rent to the power alpha m and times lambda m times L. What was lambda m? Well, lambda m was the share of labor hired in manufacturing. The problem is, of course, that expression for lambda m not very pretty, right? It's very long, and it goes like this: 1 minus alpha f times 1 minus alpha m divided by alpha m minus alpha f times k over L divided by w over r minus alpha f times 1 minus alpha f divided by alpha m minus alpha f. Okay, and next thing we need to do, unfortunately, is to substitute this expression over here. There's no way around it. But before I'm gonna do this, let me rewrite this in a very similar fashion that I did over here. Again, why is this important? Because you'll see a lot of things will be cancelling each other out. Because look, over here, we've got alpha m to the power alpha m. Now, here we have 1 minus alpha m in denominator to the power alpha m, which is the same as 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m. And right after, I can write w over r, to power alpha m. Now look, now I can substitute for lambda m. So I open brackets and I put here 1 minus alpha f times 1 minus alpha m to the power not to the power, divided by alpha m minus alpha f times k over l divided by w over r minus alpha f 1 minus alpha f divided by alpha m minus alpha f. Okay, and we finish, of course, by times l. Okay, so what do we have now? We've got demand and we've got supply. Look, here we've got supply of manufacturers expressed as a function of wage to rent ratio. In here we also got capital and labor, which we assume are constant, and everything else are technical parameters. So what is the next step we need to take? Of course, we need to equate demand and supply. Okay, so let me do this over here. And we've got that demand must be equal to supply. And from this, so we need to equalize CM, consumption of manufacturers, with production of manufacturers. Okay, so let me do it. So we've got that this is alpha m to the power alpha m. 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m w over r to the power alpha. Of course, I started wrong. I'm sorry, I looked. Let's start with demand over here. Well, it doesn't matter, but let's be constant. So we've got delta m times alpha m to the power alpha m times 1 minus alpha m to the power times 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m. I promise you, everything's going to cancel each other out very, very fast. Then we've got w over r times alpha m times w over r to the power negative 1 w over r l plus k. Okay, so if I have not missed any component, and I don't think I did, okay, then this is it. Okay, and we equalize this with supply, right? So we've got alpha m times 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m w over r to the power alpha m and now what we are going to do now is open brackets, and we've got 1 minus alpha f times 1 minus alpha m divided by alpha m minus alpha f times k over L divided by W over R minus alpha f times 1 minus alpha f divided by alpha m minus alpha f times L. Yeah, I know it's horrible and very time consuming. It's really easy to make a mistake, but don't okay, I will explain everything in the next video, in 2 videos from now. But of course, don't worry, I will never demand that you will be able to do this during the exam. Okay, but I hope you can right away see, and of course here I forgot alpha m. Yeah, okay. So now I hope you can see that we can cancel out a lot of different expressions. First, we've got alpha m to the power alpha m. We've got alpha m to the power alpha m. Okay, those two are gone. Now, we've got 1 minus alpha m to the power negative alpha m. Those two expressions are gone. Then, we've got a w over r to power alpha m. And we've got w over r to the power alpha to the power alpha m. Okay, and I've made a mistake. I'm sorry, but it's really easy to fix. Over here should be, of course, alpha m. Yeah. Okay, now everything's right. The only thing we need to change is that alpha m needs to be over here. And consequently over here. So now, what do we need to take out next? Well, next we can take 1 minus alpha m, and look, here it appears over here and over here. And I hope at this moment you see how much easier everything is becoming. Okay, and look, I'm gonna do here one more thing. I'm gonna divide both sides of this equation by L. Okay, and look, what do we get? Now we've got only delta m times w over r to the power negative 1 times w over r. And look what is happening right now. What is happening right now? Because I divide both sides by L, this becomes just W over R, while this becomes K over L. Right? Okay, so now we can move to the other side of the equation. And here actually we no longer need brackets. We've just got 1 minus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f k over L times divided by W over R. And here we've got minus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f, which of course is way easier. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do over here is I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by W over R. Okay, and look, when I'm going to do this, what happens? This is gone, this is gone, and W over R appears over here. Okay, so noticing this, we can already multiply everything out over here. So I get that this is delta m times W over R plus delta m times K over L. And here we've got 1 minus alpha f divided by alpha m minus alpha f times K over L, because this is gone, and minus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f times W over R. Okay, so what should we do next? Well, we want to solve it for wage to rent ratio. So let's put all the expressions with wage and rent ratio on the left hand side, and all the expressions with capital to labor ratio on the right hand side. And look, we get out of this that we've got delta m plus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f times wage over rent, right? I put this on the other hand side of the equation, and I took the common part, W over R. Okay, and now I'm gonna put this part on the other hand side of the equation, and as a result I'm obtaining 1 minus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f minus delta m times K over L. Because again, I've taken the common part out, which is capital to labor ratio. Okay. Let's now, we are almost done. The only thing left that we've got here is to divide both sides basically by this. But before we do it, let me share an idea. Let's first put those expressions into common denominator. So look, over here, I'm going to get that this is delta m times alpha m minus alpha f plus alpha f, right? Divided by alpha m minus alpha f. Okay, and this, of course, now we don't need parentheses anymore, times W over R. Over here, we do the same thing, and we get that this is 1 minus alpha f. Let's put it in parentheses so it looks nicer, minus delta m times alpha m minus alpha f over alpha m minus alpha f K over L. And look, right away, we can notice that if I would multiply both sides by alpha m minus alpha f, what would happen over here? We would get rid out of these denominators. Okay, so actually we just need to replace the fraction bar with the brackets now. And look, the only one left thing to do is to divide both sides of this equation by this expression, right? So we get that W over R is equal to 1 minus alpha f minus delta m alpha m minus alpha f divided by alpha f plus delta m alpha m minus alpha f times K over L. And probably, I hope now you can recognize this result from the previous video, because this is one of the conditions that we used to establish equilibria in two autarkies, right? Austria and Bolivia. Of course, how did we do it? We do it in a simpler way, because this, again, is not necessary for us. So we got the W over R is equal to gamma AU, gamma autarky times K over L. Where, of course, gamma autarky is equal to 1 minus alpha F minus gamma M times alpha M minus alpha F divided by alpha F plus gamma M times alpha M minus alpha F. Okay, and this is where we've obtained the relationship that we used to establish the equilibrium in autarky, and this is the relationship that actually help us to find the relative price ratios in Austria and Bolivia. Okay, finally, in the next video, we're gonna put all of it together and we're gonna discuss equilibrium with trade. Okay, see you in the next video.